Hey friends, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus. This is our Cancer season 2021 reading. So we're going to take a look at themes of life, love, and career. So for love, this could be relationships with friends or family. It could be your romantic relationship. For career, it could also include school, maybe a job rather than work. And I'm going to pull a Wisdom of Avalon card for each, and then we'll dig into the reading. So I will timestamp the love reading, and I will timestamp the career reading. But right now we're just going to kind of do a general overall what's going on in your life in Cancer season. Okay, so my shuffling is crazy erratic. The owl. So we have the owl for life in general. And the owl can represent deception and wisdom. So do you feel like there's an unfolding process happening in the season of Cancer? We have the swan for your love life. It's interesting, these symbols have been coming up a lot in the last while when I've been doing readings. So this is transformation, trusting, psychic gifts. And then for your career, you have the card of protection. Okay, so I'm just going to take the love and career cards away and we'll dig into the owl. So what I'm seeing for you in Cancer season for the collective is, this kind of stripping away of the veneer of things, the surface of things, the mask of things, or the mask that people wear. So things are laid bare in Cancer season. And if something comes to light, this is a message that I'm getting, if something comes to light that you are not pleased with or that is unappealing, rather than thinking, oh, this can't be right, to really sit with what is being shown to you. So if you thought something was one way and then it's revealing itself to be another way, rather than shutting that out and thinking, oh no, this must be wrong, to what does it mean if that is true? What does it mean if that is right? Okay, and with the owl can see at night and has this crazy neck. So the owl can see from all different perspectives and has the ability to see at night. So it's almost being able to see into the difficult places, being able to see into things that are ordinarily covered in shadows or unavailable. Okay, so this is something that we are all going to be able to tap into during Cancer season. Now, I'm going to pull some tarot cards to get more information about this. So what might be hidden. And we're using the Lonely Dreamer Tarot. So this is a deck that I backed on Kickstarter. I will leave the website and the Instagram information for you in the description box if you're interested. Okay. So what is hidden? The Five of Pentacles reversed. There was something you felt left out of or excluded from, and I feel like this situation, it's the Three of Pentacles. Same message though. There was something you felt left out of that you are now kind of like going to see why. So maybe there was an opportunity or a situation where everyone was kind of working together, but no one asked you to be a part of it. Or with the Five, I was going to say you may have chosen this, but that's possible as well. You may have chosen to be excluded, but there's something that's going to reveal itself in regards to a communal working situation. Some kind of thought process is going to reveal itself as well. So perhaps there was someone in your life who you really admired or looked up to, and you're going to find out something about the way that they think that is going to change your opinion of them. It feels like. So for good or for bad, I'm not sure. So let's see. What is this situation? What else can we know about this situation? The Hierophant. Okay. All right, so for some of you, this is to do with a relative or a father figure or a grandfather figure where their thought process or their way of processing things is going to become more evident, or their effect on other people. So I really feel that there's this kind of, this father energy or grandfather energy. For some of you, this is like wounds inflicted by are going to become more evident, but I'm really feeling like the father reveals itself here. And that the father can also come up as institutions. So, sometimes the Hierophant is this is Taurus energy, by the way. Sometimes the Hierophant is a religious institution or like anything that's kind of formal and committed. Could be the government. Something is definitely revealing itself at this time. And it's almost like whatever this is or whoever this is, they claim to have the answers at some point. Or you look to them for the answers. You look to them for wisdom. Or many people did. I feel like there's a public figure that's going to be exposed. And this is going to be really shocking. But I also feel this happening on the personal level. What else can we know? What's this? These two keys. One, Guardian Spirit. And two, the Queen of Cups. Okay. So there's a powerful emotional current happening, and this is something that is coming in, and I feel a public, honestly, this is collective. I feel that there is a public rising of emotion, that there is a cleansing happening communally. Okay, but it feels like at some point you removed yourself from a situation, or you were removed from a situation that is going to be very much affected. And so it's a gift that you've been removed from the situation. If you are still close to it, you will know, because you'll be sort of overwhelmed in relation to this revealing. The Guardian Spirit comes reversed. So something that was once thought to be protective and energy, again, this is like very father related. So things that you used to think protected you, this could be laws as well, keeping in mind that this is the general part of the reading. So this could be laws that you thought protected you, or institutions that you thought protected you, or, family. This is recognizing and stripping back the veneer of what that actually is. So maybe someone really says they have your back, and then when put to the put to the test. They don't actually have that. But then what that does is it unleashes this kind of, it's the Queen of Cups is crossing the Guardian Spirit reversed. So the Queen of Cups then comes in and rinses everything out. So this is a full emotional purge. So if you find yourself crying a lot during this time, that's okay. But there's also this sense of like, my strong current of emotion is unaffected. So if you can come into that space and grieve and process alone, I think that's going to be key at this time. Key, because these are the two keys of the Hierophant that we're looking at. So there's this this masculine kind of energy, institutions, Hierophant energy that has been representative of something. The Queen of Cups is the truth. The Queen of Cups is the truth of what is happening. So in contrast to this situation, you have developed skills or abilities. You've grown enough to take care of yourself. The Queen of Cups can see and feel through this situation intuitively. So this could be a failure of something, I want to use air quotes for this, of something logical or something linear. It's a very masculine energy, right? So it's something very direct. And so it was proposed as a solution. It was proposed as protection. And then the feminine energy is actually what is going to help you in this situation. It's very vague. It's very interesting. What is the advice here? What is the advice? The Nine of Cups. This is very much about self-satisfaction and self-healing and self-fulfilling. And so it could be that there is a situation where you have for a long time been told you cannot survive without this, or you cannot do things in a certain way. And I see you making that untrue, that you are able to emotionally fulfill yourself. And because you're able to emotionally fulfill yourself and you're able to stay in this Queen of Cups energy, intuitively connected, emotionally connected to yourself, you're able to ride out this disruption. Okay, but I see the people around you potentially, and maybe you are, I'm speaking to you as if you are the one that is avoiding this. Perhaps you are caught up in this, but this is available to you. Okay, so just keeping in mind that, sometimes these readings are forewarning to kind of once you see inklings of this situation starting to happen, that go into the intuitive, go into the emotional, stay out of that masculine space. Don't engage in arguments with people who are not as evolved as you emotionally. Oh, my throat. Yeah, you're just going to run yourself ragged trying to communicate things to people that just will not budge, okay? This institution, this energy right here is not going to budge. This father energy is not going to budge. It believes in itself to its detriment. Okay, this is not something that is affected by you. But what you can do is you can go into yourself. And this emotional current and energy protects you from this situation. Okay, I'm going to move this over here. What else do we need to know? So this is sort of about that deception. What else do we need to know about Cancer season? So we have the Eight of Cups, the Six of Wands, and the Emperor. Okay, more father energy. Yeah. So So here again, this is a very similar message, but a different way of approaching it, or a different way of looking at it. So we have here the Eight of Cups. This is walking away from something that you still love, something that's meaningful, something that's important. You may still want to believe in something. You may still want to follow a certain leader or follow a certain way of thinking. You know, with the Emperor here, he's providing so much to you. So this is you walking away from something that may still be providing to you. It may not be the resources may not have dried up. But I see you moving on, and this feels like a defeat. So this could be that it's a perceived failure, okay, that's coming in Cancer season, but I don't see it as being a failure. I see it as being something that feels that way, only because you're breaking from this institutional energy. You're breaking from this protective energy, that has really just kind of kept you dependent. So, and which is not to say that there are ill intentions. Okay. So I want to be clear about that. I don't see necessarily that there are ill intentions. I mean, everyone has a different situation here, but or maybe they don't. Maybe this is, certain things are conceived to help support a community or to help support a family. And certain people take up leadership roles because that was the natural choice at the time, or that's what seemed to be the way to turn, the way to go. But moving away, and this is a very emotional current that's going to take us away from that, okay? And when you think about Cancer energy, Cancers have the protective shell over the gooey center, okay? So there is a deep well of emotion in a Cancer that is very protected by a shell. So this deep current of emotion is being opened up to flow, but I see it cleansing and washing away things that, and particularly these kind of masculine energies that are not serving us at this time. Okay, so let's see. Let's get some more oracle cards. What do we want to pull, though? I don't know. Let's do Whispering Woods. Okay, let's do Whispering Woods. So what advice? Make a wish with a dandelion in the wind. Yeah, so this is actually the energy of something that you have that may seem impossible, or something that does not fit with this system. So with the typical way of doing things, it's going to feel like a failure or look like a failure based in this system, based in this way of doing things. It's going to look like a failure, but it's actually the way of getting there. This has been coming in a lot of different readings. I can't tell you which ones, but if you watch all the videos, you'll know there's been this kind of this stream or this message coming in a lot. Clearing, making room for growth. Yes. And it's almost like a tidal wave of emotion is going to be what does it. So if you are, someone who beats yourself up about, I don't mean to laugh, but beats yourself up about letting your emotions out or your strong emotions, this is not, it's not a bad thing right now. Through Cancer season, this is going to be really, really important because it's rinsing out the gunk. It's getting rid of things that you need to be rid of, really, that we all need to be rid of. And it may feel, I don't think that it's going to feel awesome. I think it's probably going to feel really weird and difficult because it's going to be, it depends on how comfortable you are with your emotions. Okay, so for some of us, it's going to be a weird, strange time, and for Cancers, it's probably going to be like, welcome, hello, or anyone who knows what Cancer energy is like. Okay, so we're pulling from the Forest Fae Oracle. This is a new one by Nadia Turner. She's Waywood Harper on Instagram, I believe. Lady of the Lost. Give to others, treasure life, and all its magic. This is what I'm feeling like, these lost hopes, these things, this wish card. Don't be afraid to wish. Don't be afraid to focus on something that you feel that again, this kind of system or this way of thinking says that it's silly or it's dreamy or it's impossible. Don't be afraid to feel into those spaces and to embrace the idea that that could come in for you. And we have seed spells. Create your story. It is the most potent form of magic. Exactly. If I had to sum this up, it would be, don't be afraid to dream and to push back against what is or what the accepted way of thinking is or the accepted way of doing, because it could be for some of you that you're discovering a new way of doing things, or that the world has changed and that we don't yet know what the new operating system is. We don't yet know what the new rules are. And so we get to make those rules by dreaming, by wishing, and by pushing forward. I'm also just thinking about this now. The Jupiter is going into retrograde, so you might want to look into that and how that affects you specifically. Okay, so let's clear this off and let's take a look at your love life. So I'm going to mention, I have a student of mine, a friend of mine, friend and students, started a GoFundMe for me to go back to school. I haven't been able to secure funding through traditional avenues. I've been a single mom for a really long time, and I won't get into my story. It will be in the GoFundMe that's linked down below. If you are not able to donate, can you please share on your social media? That would help me out so much. I'm meant to go and start school at the beginning of July, so I only have a few weeks left, and I would really appreciate it if you could help me out there. So that's linked down below, as well as links to yoga and meditation classes, and oh yeah, if you want to book a personal reading. All right, here we go. So love reading. We have the Swan. Transformation, trusting psychic gifts. I keep hearing he is not the one. Okay, so there is some kind of unseen energy just a moment. Okay, so there's something that on the surface in your love life or in love in general, in your loving relationships, there's something that on the surface has been, seems really beautiful. It seems like a really loving and beautiful connection, and maybe it is, okay? But there's something underneath the surface. There's this feeling that you have in your gut about it. That maybe it's in your gut, maybe it's in a different way, maybe it comes out in different ways for you. If you're an earth sign, it's probably in your gut, but or if you're of an earthy chart. Anyway, so there's something that you feel is off, okay? Anytime you are feeling that something is off, trust it. We had the Queen of Cups in the general reading, and I do feel like she's very much present. She's going to be very much present through all of the themes that we pull today. So this is, for me, a Queen of Cups energy. There is something, some situation that you need to trust your psychic gifts, you need to trust your intuition and your instincts and not give too much away, okay? There is an energy here that is willing to take as much as you are willing to give at this time. It's a really needy energy. It's a very almost like someone who hasn't done any inner child work and is is honestly regressing back to being almost a baby or toddler in how they're calling out for you or in how they're willing to take from you. Okay? And it's up to you to set that boundary. It's up to you to see that and feel that. And you will, because you're the Queen of Cups. If you're embodying this swan energy, this could be also that you are drawn to that kind of energy, and to be careful about if you have some inner child stuff that needs working out, that you are going to be reaching out for other people in a really intense way. So let's try and stay in our own energy, and let's try and fulfill ourselves, okay? So what else do we need to know about our love life in Cancer season? Okay. Cancer season for the collective. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands. This is a very transformational time for relationships. This is a time where, and this came up in the general reading, where the impossible becomes possible. So perhaps there was a situation where you feel incurably single, or you feel like there's an issue in your relationship that you just can't seem to connect. You can't seem to get to that right. Maybe you try to have a conversation or try to come to some kind of agreement or something like that, and it's just not working out. So I see through Cancer season that you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to transform your relationships and find a new level of agreement or stability or understanding. And that's really going to help through Leo, actually. I'm feeling like, okay. I feel like there's some conflicts that are going to be coming in beyond Cancer season. And the conflicts with yourself are what need to be settled right now. So the way of mending fences with a relationship that you're already in is to settle the conflict within yourself. What are you conflicted about in this situation? What doesn't feel right? Or actually, more importantly, what feels right, but is you being maybe dependent on the other person's energy, or vice versa? So is someone expressing a kind of dependency on your energy to move forward, or are you? And how can you navigate that space? How can you find that that strength or that reserve within yourself? Can they? Okay, the Two of Chalices. So there is a strong coming together union energy here. The Two of Chalices is feeling like a new day. So there's an opportunity through Cancer season to have a renewed or new relationship come in. There's new and fresh energy coming in. It's cause for or leading up to some kind of celebration. I do see that there's this navigation of inner conflict. So if it's a new relationship coming in, it could be that this relationship feels there's some kind of resistance that you feel toward it, or there's some kind of there's still something within yourself. So if anything comes up within a relationship through this time, you may want to question what in yourself is resisting it before looking at the other person. Okay, so even in this situation, if someone is taking of your energy or willing to plug in, you are allowing them to plug in, right? So looking at yourself first before you look at the other. Definitely inward to self. Okay, so let's take a look at if this is, let's start this over here. If this is a new relationship, so for my singles, what does that look like? What do we get to know about that situation? Okay, so for my singles, we have the 9 of Swords. Yeah, okay, so this is a new beginning or a new relationship that may seem really scary. What I'm getting here is that this is someone that maybe isn't your type, or someone that you haven't, that you wouldn't normally consider, or there's something about this situation where I'm just feeling you kind of panic. I'm feeling that this inner conflict and this kind of past energy burden or weight is going to make this really scary. So this is, and I'm like kind of smiling and laughing because this is kind of like, I really like this person. I'm going to run and hide, which is a very Cancer thing to do as well. So if you find yourself being like, I really like this person, I never want to see them again, that tracks. This is something, and notice we have the swan here. So we have this transformation and we have this trusting your psychic gifts, and it looks like kind of violent and intimidating. Okay, so this, you know, if you have previously been in relationships that are a certain way or attracted certain people, this person is going to be outside of that and it's going to scare you. So maybe they are showing up for you and you're used to being ignored, or you know, there are things that you had kind of like wished for in a person and they have those qualities, and that makes you freak out because you weren't, I mean, I'm not ready for what I was looking for, is what I'm hearing. But if it's coming in, you are ready. Okay, so let's see what else we can know about this new situation for singles. This here, the 6 of Swords. And it came out reversed. I don't read reversals, but I will take that into consideration. So the 6 of Swords, yeah, it's moving away from your old thought patterns, and that's where this resistance comes from. It's moving away from, we've got 2 butterflies flying over this bridge. Okay, so you're not even crossing a bridge. The bridge has already been crossed. You're already hovering above it. You're already flying over it. You've already made this move away from something. And this is just a situation that's really going to show you that you've moved away. And that's where this resistance comes in, right? That's where this anxiety, you may lose some sleep. You may have some resistant thoughts. But this is all part of the transformation. So I see for singles out there, your love life really transforming. And for those who are in a relationship, so this could also be any loving relationship in your life. This is for people who are not single. We have Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, taking care of yourself. So there's newfound independence. For those of you who are in relationships, there's a newfound independence that you're coming into, or a self-sufficiency. So what this can be is, oh, and we have the Emperor as well. Taking the lead on certain things. And I was just about to say, this could be, you know, maybe your partner has always done certain things and you start to step into those roles yourself. You start to act as if they weren't there, but not in a bad way, just in a way that promotes self-growth. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is also a very patient, nurturing energy. And I do feel like We had the Queen of Cups. Oh, right, the Swan. I was considering that the Queen of Cups. And this, with the Queen of Pentacles, this is such a beautiful, like, mothering, nurturing energy where you are gently but firmly caring for the people around you. So I see you maybe doing acts of service for the people that you love. And maybe this is the way that you work this boundary, is to, like, I can't help you emotionally, but I can bake you some cookies. Or, you know, I can't show up for you in a certain way, but I'm going to show up in a material way. So I definitely see that energy coming in. And also, if you are in need of that energy, the Queen of Pentacles has strong and firm boundaries, but she will, she's the nurturer, so she'll set up things around you. So maybe she finds you help as opposed to helping you herself. And with the Emperor, this is, for me, what I'm getting here is changing up the rhetoric around your relationships. So again, this doesn't have to be for people who are in steady romantic relationships. This can be for relationships in general, that, you know, maybe you've always had this dynamic of, like, a common one is like, I'm the logical one and they're the emotional one. Or, you know, this is the rational person and this is the flighty person. I see that dynamic turning on its head, because that's actually ridiculous. And if that is the rhetoric that is in your relationship, that can be very damaging, because each person takes on a certain role and then they get pigeonholed into that role. So I see that being shaken up at this time. With the energy that we saw, the Emperor came out as well in the general reading, and the Emperor is the father energy, right? So if there are certain things that your partner or someone in your life is not doing that you feel are traditionally their roles, or vice versa, this is about, you know, it doesn't matter what your gender is, you can take on that father energy. It doesn't matter whether you are, quote unquote, the flighty one. You can be rational. You are capable, you know, and it's kind of like turning those. I'm feeling very stern about this. I feel like I'm being really, really firm with you guys about this. Like, it does not serve anyone for you to, it doesn't serve the flighty person. Like, it can look like, oh, they take on less responsibilities, but that's, you know, giving your power over to the other person, and vice versa, right? So let's not disempower our partners. Let's not disempower ourselves. Let's empower both. But I do feel like this is calling for the more, for the person who takes the back seat to take the lead. Okay. What else do we need to know in love through Cancer season? Okay. This one wants to come out. The Sun. Yeah, the Sun is just such a beautiful, brightening energy, and the Sun is going to continue on through Leo season, because this is the Leo card. But things are starting to, you see how everything is kind of bleeding and running and flowing? This is important. This is what Cancer season is doing. It's washing away all of the, like, a lot of rigidity. Okay. And when you think about, like, leading up to Leo and how that's preparing us for Leo, Leo stands in its power. Leo is fixed, right? And so we want to try and come into that space without things being fixed in a damaging way. We want to prepare ourselves for that season so that we can use and harness that power of Leo. There's a lot to do with fire energies and kind of putting out fires before you get to fire season, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you can do that by softening these anxieties, by leaning into these anxieties, by being kind and gentle to yourself and to your loved ones. Acknowledging that it's going to be very hard for the person who fancies themselves the rational one to embrace their emotional side, but that's what needs to happen here, okay? And giving them the space and the platform to be that way. Or if you are on the other end and you are that quote unquote rational person, you probably aren't watching this video, but maybe you are. Softening into other spaces and allowing the colors to run. Okay, allowing yourself to be something other than the strict label you have put on yourself. We have agapenthus, I think, words of love, speak with your heart. So this is key for your love life, for love through Cancer season, to speak with your heart. And when you speak with your heart, you're not going to go wrong here, okay? All of these cards are softened in speaking through the heart. Because it's really the mind and the mind that is, that's going crazy here. And you can always soften that mind by coming into the heart space. We have gardenia, awareness. Wake up, roll the clouds away, and look. Roll the clouds away and look. If you've been asked to commodify yourself or to commodify aspects of your relationship, if it's become, this is a very, intense message that's coming in. If you have been asked to take a role or assume a role that is, what is the word that I'm looking for? The word that's coming in and it starts with a P, I think. Okay, so it's transactional relationships here. This is really a time to examine that transactional relationship. Okay, so this is on the more extreme end of what I was talking about, of the spectrum of like assuming certain titles or roles in a relationship. If something is transactional, it's time to drop into your heart space and ask yourself, why are you allowing yourself to be a commodity? Or your heart to be a commodity, or your caring to be a commodity? Okay, there is someone who is taking advantage of your and they're doing it in such a way that is very specific. It's very aiming straight for your insecurities, aiming straight for your neck is what I'm getting. Your ability to communicate yourself, your ability to express yourself. So they could be diminishing your feelings or emotions. Dropping into that Queen of Cups space. You can see that. You'll be able to see that. Meditate on this person and see how it feels. Where are you feeling them in your body? I'm going to get some love oracle cards. Okay, tell me about relationships through Cancer season. Yeah, whoever this is, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not doing for you, and you've been protecting, and so I'm speaking to someone specifically, you've been protecting this person too much. And they tell you how to protect them. They give you all the reasons. I don't like it. I hope that you can empower yourself in this situation. Okay, so we have The Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, change mind. Yes. Okay. This is a time to transform relationships. This is a time to grow relationships, and this is a time to start something new. Okay. So you are allowed to change your mind about someone. You are allowed to leave someone. You are allowed to start something new with yourself. Okay. So maybe you're leaving a relationship. Please leave that relationship. If you are allowed to leave a relationship and you are allowed to start something new with yourself, a new relationship with yourself where you start to cultivate a sense of yourself, or maybe you're already there, where you're cultivating this sense of yourself. You are not who you used to be in relationships. You do not need to attach yourself to old rhetoric about who you are in relationships. Okay, if you have transformed, you are not what you were in the last relationship you were in. So if you've been single, just keep in mind you are not entering into this relationship as who you were with the last person you were with. You are a different person. Okay, and if you are in this old relationship, this one that needs to be, and like this looks so much like the swan. There's so much echo of swan throughout this. So maybe looking into the significance of swan, I might do a messages from swan. Nope, I'm doing a messages from swan video. Okay. So that will be out at some point. Stay tuned for that. But there's a need for renewal here. And so for some relationships, this renewal is just simply a matter of like, I always nag them to take out the garbage and they don't take out the garbage, so you do it. And give them a different task. Or that's just such a simplified version. I can't think of something else right now, but it's renewing it from within, okay? We have sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Okay, yes. So you are encouraged not to focus outward, to focus inward. So even in this situation with this other person, do not think about them. Think about yourself first, okay? Yourself first is what is going to put you in this better nurturing energy. So the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, she takes care of herself first. She looks at herself first before she looks outward. Okay, and that's really going to help also to manage these anxieties over here. And then we have boats, receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure issues. This is what we saw with the Six of Swords, that moving on energy. Are you receiving what you need in this situation? Don't think about what they need. Don't think about what they need from this situation. Think about what you need. Are you getting what you need? Are you getting what you need from yourself first? And then are you getting what you need from the relationships that you're in? If you're not getting what you need in a relationship that is healthy, so not this situation over here with the gardenia, but if you're getting what you need from a relationship generally, or most of what you need, what is missing? Definitely taking a look at that, but coming into the heart space. So this isn't really about pros and cons. So it's not really about the chore list. It's like, what makes you hyper focus on the chore list? What is the emotional need that's not being met? And is there a way that you can express that to your partner? Is there a way that you can have that conversation? So if there's someone that's watching you that's on the outskirts, that's like in this kind of energy where you still kind of feel responsible for them, let them watch. You don't need to pay attention to them. You don't need to watch back. You don't need to look back at them. They can hide in the shadows and they can be in their own thing. Just leave them to it, okay? So that's the message that I have for you in love. Let's remove these cards and we'll move on to career. Career reading for Cancer season. So if you missed my messages before, there's a GoFundMe down in the description box to help me go back to school. If you are not able to donate, which is totally cool, can you please share the GoFundMe campaign on your social media? That would be amazing. I would appreciate it so much. I really want to go back to school. All right. So So for career, we have protection. All right, what I'm seeing here is you coming to a limit, or coming to an end, or coming to a point where things have to change, things have to shift. There's a need for change before you go off the deep end, essentially. So you're coming to a precipice. You're coming to something that could be a natural ending. So if you're wondering if you need to move on, this could be a sign that, that might be an option to consider. If you are, if it's just sort of like, wow, this is putting the love reading into perspective. If it's time to move on, it's time to move on. If it's not, it's time for a change. Okay. So wherever you sit in that, there's definitely a need here for change. With protection, I feel like this is really speaking to the theme that has been a current from, the general reading through the love reading to here, of needing to keep this choice your own. Okay. So while, and if you're in a marriage or a partnership or whatever, obviously there is, if there's other people dependent on you, obviously there's conversations that need to be had. But one of the key factors to think of when you're having that conversation is, am I able to show up for this job or to show up for my home life in the way that I need to while I'm in this job? So for instance, if you're weighing out different career opportunities, what is the work-home life balance going to be? I think that is really, really key and pivotal in this situation, the work-home life balance. So for instance, if there is a job that is, or if the job that you're in right now pays really well, and you're looking at something that may take a pay cut, but let's say the pay cut, that job is closer to your home, or that job has less hours, or it's going to have a better work home balance, that is definitely something to consider very deeply. So I cannot legally give you financial advice or anything like that, but these are just things to think about and consider when it comes to your career and to your work. Okay, so let's take a look at change. Okay, the Six of Wands reverse. Yeah, and this is the change or transformation that's coming in. It's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's how it's going to feel through Cancer season. Okay, but remember that you come out of Cancer season and you come into Leo season and you come into, and you move into Virgo, and it keeps rolling on. So this could feel like a temporary, I want to say it's temporary, a temporary failure or a temporary kind of setback, or, that maybe you choose to take a step down, take on less responsibility, and that may feel complicated to you because of the cultural or personal values that you ascribe to your working self or your working life. So it's not going to feel like a victory. It's going to feel like you lose either way in this choice. Okay? Let's see what else. Why is that? Okay, and it's because of, the Nine of Wands has come up as well, I think in every reading. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands reversed with the Six of Cups. So the priority here through Cancer season is your home, your children, your your personal life, your personal self, because that is the self that you bring to work. Even if you compartmentalize, you are still the same person. You cannot be different people. You are still you. You are still experiencing those things. Your dreams will process what you do at work. You know, you don't escape it there either. So this is keeping in mind your heart. This is really calling up your heart and what you long for and what is important to you and your priorities outside of work. So, for instance, if you are doing work or a job or you're in school and you are really inspired by that work and you come home and you bring that inspiration home, that's fantastic. That is an ideal situation. But I feel like this is not going to, this feels like you're being tugged between head and heart, between feeling victorious in your work life, in your career, and feeling that way in your personal life. But I see that this is Cancer season is a time for you to just feel love, to just feel and put the priority into your home or into your personal life or into yourself. Okay? And that's going to come with all kinds of this to me feels like work is going to feel like a burden through Cancer season. Again, it's that damned if you do, damned if you don't. It doesn't matter what you do. It's going to feel like a pain, honestly. Let's look at this. What is this? What is the 9 of Wands here? The Queen of Wands. You're not where you want to be, I feel. So what I'm getting here, honestly, is this like, you know, when you're in your work or you're in your job or you're making decisions about your life and you feel super in your power, like things are just manifesting, things are coming together, like you have this kind of drive and this ability to like juggle all these different things and just kind of be almost like magical about it. That's not how this is going to feel. This is going to feel like you've got fumbly hands and nothing seems to be kind of going right. And the reason for delivering a message like this, or why you might be seeing a message like this, is so that you can know, like, it's in the cards, and to find that space of acceptance, and to know that your magical self is on the sidelines. It's just, she's waiting for Leo season. Or she or he, it doesn't matter, they. They're waiting for Leo season. You know, they're waiting for a fire season. This is not the time to be fiery, to drive things forward, okay? Maybe you're coming out of Mercury retrograde thinking, okay, now it's go time, let's go. And I don't see that exactly happening until we enter Leo. That this is still going to be a time of negotiating this work-life balance. This looks like work-life balance, exactly. All right, what else do we need to know about career? So what if they already have a career? Okay, so if you already have a career, it's not going to be emotionally fulfilling right now. It's going to feel like maybe you're coming home and you're having all kinds of weird emotions about it. Maybe you're having all kinds of emotions at work. There's almost this, you know, when you're in high school and like it's the end of the year and you're just kind of like, I'm over it. I just want to hang out with my friends and every period is a spare and I'm just going to skip everything. Maybe that was just me. I'm just going to skip everything. And it's like, I don't want responsibilities. I just want to like sit in the sun and like eat some ice cream. This is the feeling that I'm getting. This is your attitude toward work through Cancer season. And keep in mind, this is a collective reading, so you are not alone. Let's see if you are looking for work. What's the message there? King of Swords. Okay. So this is going to be a difficult time to really fully communicate your skills and abilities. The King of Swords reversed. I see there being these kinds of blockers, like blockers. What do I mean by that? Like paperwork issues, or this is interesting because it feels like the Mercury retrograde shadow is going to be very strong this year. Like we're almost going to feel the Mercury retrograde. And what I mean by that is like technical errors, technical issues, communication issues. I'm feeling that continues through the Cancer season for you. So this could be like you send the wrong resume, or the person, honestly, the person you interview with is a kind of a dick and they dismiss you for no real good reason. And so I see there being like clerical errors, but also this kind of pushback from institutions, or this could be also that there are, we're still in lockdown in certain places or varying levels, and so it could be that there is no employment available in your field. Let's get another card about this. There's just something greater than yourself that is blocking your path, and it reminds me of, this is something that like a bully used to do in high school, but he would like put his arm out on a locker so I couldn't pass by. And then if I tried to go the other way, he'd go in front of me, and he had really long arms. He was really tall, and he would like block the other side of the hallway. So it's like kind of like that, where they're just kind of, you feel like you can't move this way or that. You're just kind of stuck. Okay, the Ace of Swords, but this is, oh, cool. Okay, so you're being blocked because there's something that is more right that is coming in for you. Okay, so any blocked shots, or let's say you put a lot of work into a cover letter and you were like, oh, this is the job for me, and then the interview didn't go well, or, like again, there was some kind of clerical error. This was all for something else. So there is something new, a new idea or a new career that is coming in for you. So maybe this is going back to school. Maybe this will involve going back to school, or it could involve working in a field that you haven't necessarily worked in, but that you have skills for. I want to get more clarification on this Ace of Swords. Tell me about the Ace of Swords. Tell me about the Ace of Swords. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I don't feel like this is something that you have. Wheel of Fortune reversed. King of Pentacles reversed. This is something new. Something that you haven't been able to see in yourself before, or where you've never really had the opportunity or been given the opportunity. So this could actually be something that is very out of the ordinary or outside of the box. So much resistance here. So much resistance. Like you've been held back from this for a long time. This is going to make sense of, with the King's reverse here, I feel like there's something about starting from the bottom and building up a new foundation. And like, you've been working toward this, you haven't been working toward this. You haven't seen it as your fate or your destiny. You don't have like any authority in this situation. But it's going to offer you that work-home balance that you've been looking for. It's going to offer you the working situation. It's not something, again, like this is interesting because the love reading was like someone coming in that isn't what you were looking for. So I feel like this is a job that you are not looking for. So if you're looking for employment, this can also be if you are already employed and looking at your career. This is a situation like maybe I'm hearing the word merger or a collaboration or something that you weren't looking for that isn't obvious, that wouldn't have been something that you would actively seek, is going to be revealed on the other side of this kind of failure situation or this defeat. Let's get you some advice. What are we going to use? We'll do language of flowers. Some advice, career advice for my viewers. Cactus flower. Endurance. Hold on. You can do this. Yes. Hold on. You can do this. This is definitely an endurance trial. Okay, so what I see is like, it's like a mud, feet stuck in the mud or trudging. And maybe for you, this is jumping off that cliff. Maybe it's abandoning that path altogether. For some of you, it may be just a turn in that path that you didn't see coming, but that has really strong roots. Communication. Listen and speak with greater care. So again, yeah, that Mercury retrograde energy of miscommunication is here. But I do kind of feel like this miscommunication and this whatever messes up leads you to where you need to go. So maybe while you're in it, maybe you'll think back to this and remember like, hey, she said something about this, that like things would be kind of weird and messed up and that it would feel like a failure. And then, but it's leading to something that I didn't know. I'm going to take some making magic cards and let's see how you can make magic with this situation. Dragonfly, you bring light to this world. This is keeping in mind what you have to offer, okay? So what this feels like is that in this situation, you meet up with the King of Swords and you're trying to prove yourself to the King of Swords. But I feel like you don't need to prove yourself. The opportunity, the situation needs to prove itself. It needs to ask for you. It needs to need you. So whatever that is, maybe it's a different boss, maybe it's a different industry. That industry needs you as opposed to you needing it or constantly proving yourself to it. Prosperity. What an amazing card to get through a career reading. A prosperous business with riches and success. So this could be a new beginning for a new business or something that starts out. So this unforeseen thing is what is going to start a new prosperous beginning. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Thank you so much. Please check out the links in the description box below to help donate or to join me for yoga and meditation classes or for personal reading if you'd like to dig into this in your own situation. Okay, take care.